Now it's time to start the winner's match. Flash versus iloveoov. It's going to be a TVT. So I have iloveoov with SKT. And we have Flash on the other side with KTF. So I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup because even though iloveoov was out of his prime at this point in time, and I believe he became a coach a bit later on this year, he is still pretty formidable in TVT. And Flash, as everyone knows, is an up-and-coming player and has had a lot of nice finishes. Fighting. So map is Katrina. Flash is going to be spawning at the yellow Terran in the 12 o'clock position. And iloveoov will be spawning as the brown Terran at 3 o'clock. So we'll have to see how both of these players play this match out. Flash has been becoming, well, he has cheesed in some of the previous OSLs, MSLs leading up to this tournament. He has also shown quite some solid macro games. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was to go for something like 14cc, because again, this map is pretty long distance travel, long spawns. Likewise, also wouldn't surprise me if iloveoov did as well. We'll have to see what each of them do open up with. Now, one thing to mention is I actually prefer Flash's spawn position here, because part of the reason is that if iloveoov wants to do some kind of harass, like dropping the back expansion, he'll have to travel a longer distance. Well, it's much closer for Flash to just travel right horizontally and drop the units there. So we'll see if either will send out an SCV to get a Rax building, or we'll just pull up some resources for that CC. I'm not seeing anything yet from iloveoov, so this seems to be indicating that a CC is more than likely coming from him. Yeah, so looks like he's getting a CC. I do see something in Flash's base, so might be the could potentially be a Rax, which we'll have to wait and see. But it looks like it's a CC first from iloveoov. Yeah, looks like it's a Rax followed up by the gas as well. So it's going to be a factor opening, probably a factor expand, but we'll see if Flash is going to do something like something bizarre, I guess, for this kind of map, like a 2-fac. Unlikely, but we'll take a look and see. So Rax coming in for iloveoov, but a fifth of the way done, quarter of the way, and Flash is going to be scouting iloveoov first as well. So there is always a chance that he decides his game plan based on this, but my understanding is a lot of Koreans actually come into the game with a plan and they just execute it regardless of what the opponent is doing. I remember reading this a while ago. I think it's a very interesting mindset. Basically try and make whatever you did work because it's what you practiced for. So I can see the SCV moving back in Flash's base. Looks like he is going to take the CC as well. Economically, this is definitely in iloveoov's perspective, but Flash should be ahead tech-wise. Because the factory is just about done building, and there it is, it's done. So I'm fully expecting a Vulture to come in. And then potentially the machine shop right after, but it honestly depends on what Flash feels is appropriate, because there's a chance that iloveoov would just seal off his entrance, but he knows the factory is really delayed. So getting a Vulture in there would do massive damage at this point, especially with how well these pros can micro. Now I do see something coming down. That's more than likely a Vulture. iloveoov still hasn't seen Flash's base. He doesn't know what Flash is doing. Now Flash does lose the SCV, but is there a block at the entrance? Is there a block at the entrance? That's the question. Oh, okay. So it looks like if this was just slightly earlier, that Vulture would have gotten in. Doesn't look like Flash is going to risk it, but there is a chance that if he gets a couple more tries for a run by later on, there is a starport coming in. So we have to see if he's going to go for something like dropships or Wraith. Wraith is the logical follow-up. Get a couple, and then because that will force several different responses from iloveoov. But there you go. So you can see the Vulture just basically walking through. And I mean, was it worth it? This Vulture is going to probably kill at least a couple SCVs, delay that factory from building, and do a lot of damage in terms of lack of mining. So that's 2 SCV kills. We're going to get at least 1 more. Oh, he had to get that. Okay, 3 SCV kills. I mean, 2 Vultures for 3 SCVs. It's hard to say if it's worth it. I still prefer this trade because Flash doesn't want to get back on the economical in the same economical position. We do see the army coming in. We do see the control tower for the starport and the second factory. So Flash is not in a bad position himself. He's still doing a great job catching up. So I wonder if this is gonna be some kind of a drop play, because I don't see the control tower spinning just yet. So maybe it'd be like a Vulture drop, because he has 2 factories. He can easily get 2 Vultures, probably right after the drop that comes up by a bit. But at the same time, I also don't see any kind of speed or anything researching at the machine shop. Okay, looks like it's going to be what looks like a Goliath Vulture drop. Okay, that's very interesting. Now, one thing about this drop that's really nice, I mean, there's only a couple of Marines that can shoot up. So as long as Flash kills those, there's no Goliath or anything that'll kill a dropship. And you can see iloveoov is not ready for this because it's an extremely odd drop. Best way to say it. Now, he should probably pick up that Vulture, just like he played with the Goliath. This is what this is going to do is this is going to keep iloveoov on the back foot. He should at least get that Vulture Goliath. That is fantastic pickup, and looks like he's going to leave here, but he has done a small amount of damage. Not too bad, not too bad. A couple of factors are coming in as well, and you got the academy coming in. So at this point in time, I actually prefer Flash's position. He seems to have tech-wise, he's in a better position as well. But there is quite a bit of Vultures coming out, so the question is just how much, or what does iloveoov expect to do with these Vultures? Is he just going to lay some mines around? Is he going to try and scout a bit? Looks like he has Goliath Eye as well. I do expect the +1 from both players to have been researching by this point. Okay, so some mines just in front of Flash's base. That's perfect. That will help him with any army movements. It's very interesting, but iloveoov is definitely ready for it. So he has his own drop tip as well, so I mean, I do expect to see some kind of harass. Maybe we'll get that Vulture drop just going all the way around the map. Ooh, so Flash does have to be careful. He doesn't want to keep losing those units. Oh, and he's going to intercept the drop. Wow, that was a fantastic one. That was a huge win for him. Chances are there was a couple units in that dropship, so he just killed the dropship and a couple units on top. And his factors did finish earlier, and he still has his units alive, plus the earlier upgrades. So all in all, Flash is in a better position here, so he can actually seize the front as well, because I can see some units spinning, so it's more than likely Siege is not ready for iloveoov. I don't see anything spinning for Flash, so there is a chance that his Siege is ready, and we do see it is ready, so he actually has a bit of a mini contain on iloveoov. And looks like he is taking his turn, so that will definitely put in a better position. Now there is another dropship, so iloveoov can decide to drop again. We do see the bottom right expansion CC from iloveoov, and this is something he was well known for, from my understanding, just grabbing expansions as the fights are going on and just using the extra economy to overwhelm his opponent. Of course, the Rakta Scout, so I expect a Vulture or something to go in there and just kill the SCV to deny it completely. Either way, the Flash is aware of this, so this base is not safe. It will be taken down, or at least the mining will be delayed. And you can see there is a dropship coming in. So it looks like actually Flash does see the dropships coming in, but his SCV there, and decides to pull his own back. So this base will be safe for now. He should probably consider landing. Oh, but he is going for a base in a drop in base. So he's not going to be ready for this. iloveoov is definitely not ready for this. His tanks are completely out of position, and you can see he's not even responding just yet. That's extremely delayed for response, and the tanks still don't raid those tanks as well. So if Flash is able to do a great job with the targeting, he will do massive damage here, and that's a huge amount of tanks that he has. About what, 7 tanks? There is some tanks at the front, but there is only a single tank, and there is like only a couple in the back. So these tanks there is still a lot of damage being done here. Now iloveoov does defend this, which is not too bad. But keep in mind, Flash has 3rd base up. He still has a decent amount of army behind. He has the initiative at this point, and this is something that if you have it in TVT, you're able to at least, if you have the initiative, you can force the opponent to your rhythm. So because Flash did have a bit of the initiative with how things were going, he took his 3rd faster. And the drops and everything, and obviously the position he spawned in does help as well, but Flash is playing extremely well, and iloveoov is not doing too badly either. Oh, it looks like these dropships are going to intercept the SCVs, and they will be scouted. The question is if Flash will decide to pull back. I believe he's going to drop this and then just siege up this expansion. He doesn't want iloveoov to have it, and he's going to try and snipe the dropships. He's going to miss them, but this base is going to go down. iloveoov has no choice. He has to lift that CC, and if he doesn't lift it, well, he's going to lose all the workers on it, and eventually he'll lose it in time. And I think the best part of the situation is that Flash didn't lose any of the units. He's going to get the CC, and his tanks are safe as well as his dropships. Now, he's going to lose one of the dropships. So this was a bad thing, but again, it's not the end of the world. Just one dropship for now. So the question is, what is iloveoov going to do? It looks like he's planning to actually try and go on the offensive himself, but he's going to have to break above on this high ground, and there is quite a bit of tanks up there. And high ground is extremely important in Brood War as well. This gives quite the defender's advantage. So Flash will definitely hold this 110%. You can see the units have been extremely whittled down, and there's basically a single tank left. On top of that, the eBay is going down as well, so iloveoov would have to rebuild it if he needs terrorists just to defend against some of the, or to help deny some of the drops. So it looks like I'm still seeing 0-0 on the units for Flash. I believe I saw 0-0 for iloveoov, so maybe they haven't the research hasn't finished just yet, or they started later than we saw earlier. So the question is, does Flash know about this base in the back, right near iloveoov's expansion? Because you can see he's scouting around for other bases. I don't know if he knows about this base yet, but he can definitely siege it from the back. So we'll see if that's something he would like to do. Now he's in a bad position right now, or out of position, but he's slowly moved back, and he has the high ground advantage. So iloveoov should honestly just pull back, because he's going to lose his all 3 tanks. I don't think he's going to kill that much. Oh, but that was a nice kill there. So 4 factories. I expect that Flash would have probably add at least another 2 to 3 factories on, but we haven't seen his base in quite a while. He does have a really nice saturation. Probably a bit of oversaturation potentially, because there is quite a bit of workers there, but typically anywhere between about 2 to 3 per patch is the recommended amount. I believe I saw about 2 or 2.5. So we can see Flash triple expanding. So you can see he's only able to do this triple expand because he is putting the pressure on iloveoov. So iloveoov has to respond to all these so-called provocations. Now Flash is doing his best to deny that gas, but iloveoov does have nice tank placement there. Oh, looks like he actually is going to deny the gas, and that was fantastic as well, because that's going to be two gas Terran versus 3 gas. It looks like iloveoov is going to actually. Looks like he was trying to. That must have been a miss rally. So this is going to put Flash further and further ahead because he already has 2 CCs already finished. He's grabbing a 4th gas. So it's possible that iloveoov is going to try and go for a big break. That might be why he's gassing all the workers there. Basically, he's going to try and absorb some of the damage or the first shots with the workers, and then go for the push because he is bringing a huge amount of tanks with him. But Flash just have a lot of units here, and I don't think this is going to work. Wow, that's a huge amount of tanks from Flash. And if Flash targets, and yeah, GG. Basically, it played up. They both played pretty well. Flash did have that nice run by, did do a bit of delayed, a bit of minor attacks on iloveoov, and denied the 3rd, which was pretty big, and then he just ran away with it. Flash will be the first to advance to the Ro16 from this group.